Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday just for you. Happy birthday.
Pragmatic, diligent, articulate.
Whenever I hear the word dad, I think of happiness, discipline, and family.
And cut out a purpose for his life as early as I believe he knew himself.
Dogmatic, effusive, vintage.
Generally very calm, very cool, and very collected about things.
I draw a lot from Pastor Keo.
Keo is a very dynamic person.
He's also a very passionate person.
Eloquent, humble.
He and his wife struck me as role models.
I love my daddy.
His knowledge and commitment to service is something I admire.
Real and genuine.
On June 18, 1962, at the Chiswick Hospital in Ealing, a suburb of London, a boy child was born to Robert and Esther Okara, a young Nigerian couple resident in the United Kingdom. Quite typical of many Nigerians resident in the UK in the late 1950s and early 60s, Mr. Okara was a law student and his wife a career nurse.
I think about 1965, maybe about 3 years after I was born, my parents brought me home to stay with my grandmother. For them at the time, the challenge was in looking after a young child, and at the same time coping with the demand, especially for my father of studying and my mother working. And as nurses, nurses worked, they used to do different kinds of shifts. So sometimes my mother would be at work at, odd hours of the day. And I think that largely informed their decision to bring me home to be with my grandmother. So when I was age 3, thereabouts, they shipped me back to Nigeria.
The young lad quite enjoyed the village life, playing by the riverside and living in his grandmother's hut while they did their best to sleep safely at night.
I was admitted to the Federal Government College Enugu in October of 1973. And this was just 3 years after the Civil War. So leaving Port Harcourt, leaving this very sheltered, very cloistered existence in Port Harcourt, and moving to Enugu was a complete shock to my system, because for the first time I was away from home.
Camilla harbored the fear of finding himself somewhere in Enugu and for everyone to quickly discover that he was a non-Igbo.
And I did not want, anytime I was out on school exit or doing anything, for anybody to know that I was what the Igbo man would call Mbamiri, that is somebody who comes from water. So these are some of my fond early memories of secondary school.
By September 1979, Camilla was admitted as a first-year student of English at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
My motivation really was, at the time I had this big idea that I was going to be an actor and I was going to go to Hollywood. And so I felt that an education in English with all that it would entail in terms of the classics, literature, drama, and all of that would put me in very good stead for that.
The young man came under pressure and was overwhelmed by his inability to balance the freedom of university life and the rigors of lectures and seminars.
I couldn't manage the fact that I had so much time on my hands, and so my academics suffered terribly. And I quickly also came to the realization that I really couldn't continue, studying English. And so I left, and then after that, I went to the United Kingdom and trained to be a lawyer.
At this time, the youthful exuberance had faded, and young Camilla was grateful for a second chance, and for full measure, he qualified as an English barrister. He returned to Nigeria in 1988 to attend the Nigerian Law School, and at that time, the fact that he was an English barrister was a special badge of honor.
So I think my real interest was there. My going off to Nsukka was probably some artistic side to me looking for expression. So I ended up training as a lawyer.
However, Camilla cut his teeth under the tutelage of George Etomi. For him, it was such a breath of fresh air.
He joined us in 1989 for the youth service. He completed youth service a year later, and shortly after that, we actually sent him to manage the Port Harcourt office. He went there on relief assignment. He did so well.
He's a fantastic lawyer. A few times that we've done transactions together, he's brought in his experience to bear on the work.
In 1992, Kamela gave his life to Christ and so began the walk with God. In February of the same year, he met his wife.
Soon after I gave my life to Christ, I came across this church that met somewhere in Apapa. And after hearing some of the messages of the church, I thought I need to begin to invest in the messages and the tapes.
I had never seen, somebody young who was so consumed with listening to tapes. He bought music tapes, he bought every message.
And I got to this tape stand, and there was this, delicate, petite, young lady behind the counter, selling the tapes. And, she was very beautiful, very, very attractive.
It was so encouraging to see somebody who was young, who was exposed, who was a professional and also very much sold out for God.
I was just intrigued, and I think for me that's where it really started.
By the time he proposed, we had actually moved on to different ministries, and we just got on as friends. There was nothing attached to it. And then one day he turns up at my office. I used to work with this finance house called BT Listen.
And we chatted and chatted and chatted, and I was trying to bring up the subject. I didn't know how to bring up the subject. And just when I was leaving her office, I said, "Oh, by the way," the funniest marriage proposal. I said, "By the way, I think the Lord is saying we should get married." And I didn't even wait to hear what she would say. I just jumped into the car and took off.
I was so stunned because it was such an unusual proposal and very, very not expected.
After many attempts to get married in Nigeria, Chichi and Kamela finally tied the nuptial knot in Fanaway, Copenhagen, Denmark in August 1995, 3 years after the first meeting. In one fell swoop, Kamela became a husband and pastor of a fledgling congregation of occasional Dane and mostly Nigerian immigrants in search of the golden fleece.
2 years later, Ibitimi would arrive, That year was a very, very intense year for us in many ways. First, in January 1998, January of that year, the year started out, I lost my grandmother. My mom was very ill during that period.
In December of 1999, Deifa, their second child, was born. The Okaras spent the next 2 years seeking God's purpose, and Kamela thought it was time to return to Nigeria.
By January 2001, we packed up and we're back in Nigeria, and we haven't looked back since.
Knowing the unique gift that Pastor Tony Rabe is to the Church of Christ, or as the inimitable Leke Older will say, ecclesiastical entrepreneur, Kamela put his hands on the plow, enjoying the building of this present house.
The first thing I noticed, and I mean this was a quality that was common to him and some of the other leaders in church, was there was this fire. There was this fire and passion for God.
Over time, I started enjoying his messages. I found it very deep and very instructive.
There are people you meet along your journey in life, and they impact on you positively and help you to shape your life ideology. In many ways, Pastor Q has influenced me in that direction.
Somebody who cut out a purpose for his life as early as I believe he knew himself. And one of the striking qualities about Kamela, apart from the obvious fact that you're dealing with a gentleman, is his compassion for other people, always looking out for the interest of other people.
His life has been, like an example, even to me.
My dad is like my inspiration. He's the one that he's really the person who taught you from the beginning what is right and what is wrong.
My dad is a very nice person, very wise and disciplined man.
He's handsome, he's smart, he picks me up from school, and sometimes he he drops me in school.
To me, in terms of his person, I've never seen him panic. He's usually very calm, no matter what the situation may be.
By the year 2010, the pull towards nation building became irresistible, and for the first time, Kamela became a member of a political party, the Action Congress of Nigeria, and eventually ran for the office of governor, Bayelsa State, in February 2012. The experience was priceless as Kamela experienced firsthand the joy of being the salt of the earth and the light of the world.
When you vote me, one of the plans that we get now to make this market even better pass as it did. I felt that there's need for people of a very different orientation who have clear principles and clear policies and a clear agenda for Nigeria's future to begin to show up on the political space. And it doesn't matter what the current landscape looks like. And so I felt that I had a compelling message. And it didn't matter what the political calculations or what the political scenario looked like. I felt that the future of Nigeria belongs to those who would dare to be different and step out and start now, even though it may look unpopular now.
Whenever I think of KO, I always think of the new face of the Nigerian politics, new face of Nigeria, new face of the nation's leadership. And you are going to make it, KO. You are going to make it. It's going to work out. And you are going to be known as great in your generation.
I have always known him to have a deep passion for Nigeria. I just didn't know when and how that was going to translate into practical engagements with the political terrain. But I was encouraged, but then again, I was a bit afraid, and I was concerned about him initially. But when I saw his conviction and the temerity with which he was approaching the call, I had no choice but to support.
I told Pastor K, you've won. So it's not a case of winning election and becoming a governor. The fact that you've come out there, that good people like you are coming out there, it will be a reason for more and more good people to participate. And as we do that, the politics can only get better.
Politics in Nigeria is not for the faint-hearted, and I was really very surprised when he took it to the end. There's so many stories we can tell, so many danger points, but in all that I saw somebody with unwavering faith and who was tenacious in what he believed in.
And having gone the whole hog of getting involved, starting, running for office, it's been a wonderful experience. I've learned things I could never have learned any other way. And today, I have achieved some significant milestones from which I can build going forward. So I've been having a very wonderful time.
In 2011, Kamela Okara published his first book titled Open Windows in Babylon. The book, which has gained favorable reviews worldwide, especially among Christian communities, was written to help the prayer life of believers.
From the moment I started reading it, I could not put it down. And I would say books like that are rare.
And reading your book, knowing you, fellowshipping with you, you are a man of great relationships.
Kamela Okara is blessed with 4 beautiful children and a lovely wife. A man whose journey began 5 decades ago. Truly, it has been an unprecedented voyage of discovery. And for Kamela, we can boldly say the journey of 1,000 miles has just begun.
One of the main driving forces for me has been actually my name. When my father gave me the name Kamela, Kamela in Ijo means become a man. It's literally like a command. It's a command to become. And when I tie that with, the grace of God in my life, I realized that, my entire life's purpose is really to become what God wants me to become. I'm 50 and counting. For me, age seems relevant when you are living life on purpose.
Now that he's in his 50s, I can assure you that he's going to come up with something new for his 50s. I wish you the best in the days to come.
Daddy, I wish you many more years. and I hope for the best in everything you do.
I love you, Daddy. Happy 50th birthday.
Happy birthday, Daddy. I hope you know that you're the one that taught me everything I know. You're the wisest one in the family.
I love you, Daddy. Happy birthday.
To my husband, my darling of 17 years, I want to say thank you very much for being a rock, for being like a stable factor in my life, for encouraging all the way, for having unwavering faith when I lacked faith. I want to say thank you for being a father to our 4 children.
What an amazing journey it has been. I would like to say that you've been an inspiration to a lot of us. Happy 50th birthday, Pastor K.O.
We love you. We are proud of you here in Ukraine. Our people here remember you, and we are all together wishing you a happy 50th birthday.
First of all, I want to say a big thank you to my wife for the last 17 years. I'd also want to say a big thank you to my children. They've been a wonderful joy. It's been such an inspiration having 4 wonderful, very different children. Pastor Tony is one person I would want to say a very big thank you to. He really opened me up to the dynamics of what it is to be a child of God, to pursue purpose in God, and to live a life that seeks the best for God in terms of excellence, in terms of passion, in terms of fervency of the kingdom. And of course, Sister Nkoyo, who has been a big sister, wonderful friend, wonderful inspiration. There are many people I would want to thank you to my family, my brothers, who have always been there, my sister, too many people, to the wonderful family at this present house, who through the different years and times we've been together have been rock solid as a family. And to all those who were so strongly supportive of my unprecedented venture into politics, who stood by, who supported financially, I want to say a big thank you. And I mustn't forget to say a big thank you to those in the Action Congress of Nigeria, from the leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who graciously, from the very first time we met, received me with open arms and was very supportive of what we wish to do in Bayelsa State. To the governor of Lagos State, who has been very supportive as well to ensure that we brought the ideals of transformative democracy to Bayelsa State. So many people to say thank you to, but you all know yourselves, you've all been part of this journey, one form or the other. I want to say a big thank you. God bless you all.